went and bought Pueblo Chile, and we bought them green, and then we let them sit for a couple of days so they can turn red, because we like a mixture of red and green. And there's, you get your red, your orange, and your green. And it makes a pretty color when you make a bag of chili. So what we do is we put them in laundry baskets, and each of these baskets is about a bushel. And I keep a trash can nearby for, you know, leaves and any debris that you have that you got to throw out, or any rotten chilies. And then you need tin foil and a measuring cup, a trash bag which has been doubled. I'll explain why in a few minutes, why you need this trash bag. See, I already got some chilies in it, but I'll explain that in a few minutes. And then I have, because you got to have a two-sided sink. And I soak chilies here and clean them up, because they're, you know, they've been picked and they haven't really been rinsed all that well, so I rinse them a little bit. And then you need a double roasting pans, like the kind you use for Thanksgiving dinner for your turkey. So I get two, because it gets kind of heavy, because you have to add water in there. So once you rinse your chilies and you fill up your pan, I don't overfill, because I can't overfill mine because it won't fit in my stove. So once you fill up your chili, you put two of these, one or two of them, probably two, which is, this is a 4 cup, so about 8 cups of water in there so they can steam up. Then you cover it with your tin foil. To make a tent, and to steam it up, because that's what we're doing here, is we're steaming these chilies. Cover it up. And then you stick them in the oven. Okay, you should have your oven preheated to 500 degrees, and it takes about an hour per tin pan. Right now I already have 2 in the oven. I got one on the upper level and one on the lower. So there's not a lot of room, so I can't overfill the pans to stuff them in there. So you just let them steam in there, and then I'll show you in a few minutes what they look like when they're done, and then what the next step in the process is of how you do these chilies. And the reason why you do this is because you find a lot of leaves and dirt and stuff and little debris that you don't want on here, so you'd be surprised how dirty your water can get. So I let them soak while I'm waiting for the next batch. For that batch to cook, these ones stay soaking. Okay, and that's it from the top rack, and we're going to check them. Be careful because they're hot. See the steam? Oh, these ones did good. Okay, see these? Even got a little bit of toast, which is pretty good. These ones have not been put in yet. This is what they look like prior. They're all pretty green and plump. And see the difference? That's what they look like. Okay, I have to add water to these ones, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 8 cups I was telling you about prior. I might go 6. Let me see how heavy it is. If it's too heavy, I can't handle it, so I have to just put like 6. Okay, I'm going to try for the full 8. Well, I'm going to go a little less than that. I'm going to go 7. Okay. Then we cover those back up. Should have put the water in prior, but get it good and tight and get some steam going. Then, if you want to step around the other side of me, I'll show you. We got the double trash bags, which I was telling you about earlier, which I'll show you what I do. I pour my chilies into here. Oops. With all the liquid that's still in the pan. See, there's still steamy liquid in there. So I pour it in there, the entire pan. Put it to the side. Then I get this, and I twist it close. And keep it that way and continue to steam them. I keep a rag on them to help keep it closed. Then going to check this next one. You can turn that off for a moment. You don't need to show this one.
Okay.
Okay, now I've got a second pan that was in the oven that I'm going to go ahead and dump in here. And I keep dumping, I probably get 4 pans in one trash bag. And that's about all that the trash bag can handle. And it's about all you can handle. So this is my third one. Whoops. This one I'm going to go ahead and throw over here so I can rinse it off. Then again, I twist the bag. Something on it. Okay, and that's it. Okay, we're getting ready to load up the 2 tin pans, the double pan, because you really need it because they're not, especially these ones seem kind of cheap for some reason, but anyway, so what I do is I look through them all as I'm putting in my chilies. It'll take a few minutes. Make sure there's no brown spots or rotten spots. You can see them pretty quickly. Try and get a good little mixture of different colors in there. And again, you don't want to overfill your pan. Especially if you're doing it in the house. Now you can roast them outside, maybe overload it a little bit. We did one pan outside already, but we ran out of propane, so the rest of this has to be done on the inside. That ain't too bad, but sometimes they can get really bad, the spots. Like, let's say I don't like this one right here. What I would do is I would cut that little, just that particular spot out. Put it to the side. And see, then your chili's still good. You can continue on. I think that's about all I'm going to stuff in this one. Just like I said, I don't like to overfill them. Okay, then I add my water, which is, I got the 4-cup measuring cup. So I'm going to do 4 cups first time. And this is a smaller pan than the last one, so I'm just going to put 6. Okay, that's pretty much about half your pan. Then you go ahead and get your tin foil again. Oops, where is my tin foil? Oh, here it is. Okay, get my tin foil. Cover that. Put it to the side a minute until I get my other one. And now I've got another 2 set of pans here. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this pan up. And then in a second I'll show you that this water isn't too dirty. It has changed a little bit of color though. And these, the roasting that I'm doing them with the Pueblo Chile. Now, that's from Pueblo, Colorado. It's a special kind of chili. It's an Italian farmer that makes his own combination of 3 seeds to come up with that particular style of chili. Now, you see how dirty the water is in here? You can see the dirt and the little leaves and stuff. Now, you can leave that and go, but I'm going to go ahead and rinse this out. Fill it back up. Get rid of this water. I like to start out with new water. So then I'm going to go ahead and put that back on, fill it back up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some more chilies in there to wash. So I just go ahead and grab it by the handfuls. You got it on off? Okay, so now this is probably good enough for in here. See, I like to soak it as much as we can. Okay, these are turning pretty quick on me. I waited too long. Anyway, like I was saying, the Pueblo chili is from Pueblo, Colorado. And you could steam them nicely in the oven like we're going to do. See, this one's kind of rotten. I'm not even going to bother with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out. You can steam the Pueblo chili very nicely like we're doing. But if you buy the Hatch chili, which is from Hatch, New Mexico, it's better to get them to roast it where you buy it at. Because it's just pills better. When you do steam on the Hatch, it does not pill. And then you're sorry that you steamed it like we're doing these. Now Pueblo does very well steaming. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish putting some more in this pan. Try not to have no sharp little edges sticking out. Kind of like turkey wings, you don't want them hanging out because those will get extra toasty. Okay, that's all I'm going to put in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get some water. 4 cups. And then another 2 because these are a smaller pan. The bigger pan we like to put about 8. Cover this one with tin foil. And I put them in, when you're starting from this point, you put them in for about an hour it takes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven. I already have one in there, and I'm going to put one more. Okay, now that we have our bag loaded, and it's pretty full, I'm going to go ahead and start emptying this bag and loading up the bags that I'm going to use. So I need to clear a spot over here. And get all my little knives and forks out of the way. Measuring cup. Might be a counter area just because I like it to look neat. Okay, we buy Glad. I prefer Glad, and I get the freezer bags, and because we're going to be freezing these. We already pre-dated these ones, but we didn't open them, so we have to open them. So what I'm going to do here, see, we put the dates, today's date. And then I either put if it's mild hot or whatever. But these are all the same. These are pretty much hot. So I'm not even going to bother writing that. I just wrote the date on these ones. So let me go ahead and open myself up a bunch of bags here. Now you will need a pair of gloves because this chili is not only is hot, but the oils from the chili will get on your hands and you'll be sorry if you don't. So you can either get a knife or a pick thing. I think I'm going to go with my knife. And what I do is I cut holes in the bag and drain the water. And it's going to come out really hot, so watch where you've got those holes coming out at. This one's really hot. Okay. So I just go ahead and keep twisting the bag because that is squeezing the chili and all the juices out that you can get, all that liquid that we poured in there. Because you don't want to pack wet chili into the bags because then you'll have a sloppy mess and it has a chance of busting open on you and freezing like an ice cube, and it's not the same kind of look. So this is why you want to do this. Keep twisting it and getting that bag smaller. It gets very hot. Now I could just dump the bag and, you know, let it drain into the sink here, but it's still better to do it like this and squeeze that liquid out. Let's see if I can make a couple more holes here. Okay, I must have got it pretty good. Okay, nope, there's still some coming out on this side. And then what I do from there is I go ahead and, I'm going to cut this bag open because it's really hot. Probably an easier way to do that. Okay. See how that looks? It kind of looks all squished out. So now I'm going to go ahead and dump them into the sink, which, by the way, I had scrubbed, Cloroxed, and cleaned, so it's a clean sink. Okay, so this bag's going to go in the trash. Okay. Now I'm going to let these sit here for a few minutes because they're really, really hot. You can see the steam still coming off of them. And maybe they'll drain a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with one bag real quick. So let me put my gloves on. Make sure you get those gloves. I'm telling you, you'll be sorry if you don't. Makes a big difference on your hands. Between the oils and the heat, you just ain't going to be able to take it. Oops. Come on. Okay. So let me get a bag that's already been pre-dated and opened, and you start stuffing the chilies in there. I put anywhere between 10 and 20, but normally I put about 10 because that's about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you don't want to put too much red in the bag. You know, I think I'm going to put one more. 11. Okay. And you don't want to close them up because, see, they're too hot and they're just going to pop back open. But see, there's no liquid there. And you go ahead and you stand them up somewhere where you're going to be standing a lot of them. Let me do another bag. Okay. 1. Always count them out because you get busy and forget. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I think, like I said, I'm going to go to 11. Okay. 10 is really a good amount. That'll make a pot of chili. It'll do table chili, salsa that you make. Any more than that is just too much, and you're wasting your time and effort and chili. So there you go. There's 2 bags. And I just keep doing that until all this is gone. And it's better to work with it when it's a little bit cooler than it is right now, so I'm going to have to wait. This is still really hot. And then I'll go ahead and show you what I do after this. So now I emptied out the sink. Could you come a little closer? And see, this is what I have left over. Okay, it's just little things. So I go ahead and I'm going to clean those out because you don't want to run them down your sink. Throw them away. And I'm going to go ahead and rinse the sink. I'm going to try and start with the new clean sink again. Now I'm going to dry that out just a little bit, just because I don't want to get that wet. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put in another 2 trash bags, one inside of the other, so I can get ready for my next set of pans. I put about 3 or 4 tin pans in here of roasted chili, steamed chili, I guess you could call it. And see, and then over here I did, not sure how many bags I actually got out of that. 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You get about 20 bags out of every bushel. So I've rested a bushel, and I've got 2 more bushels to go. So I'll have 60 bags. And they've already been pre-dated. I leave them open to cool off. And then pretty soon I'll go ahead and show you how I close them up and put them in the next bag that I'm going to put in after this. Okay, now we brought the bags over to the our kitchen table, because this is how we work our area, from the counter to the kitchen. Okay, these have sat here under the ceiling fan cooling down, and so they're pretty cool. They've got a little sweaty in the bag. But what we're going to do is go ahead and seal these bags. Make sure they're sealed tight. And then I lay them down on their side and kind of massage them out a little bit. And I open them back up on one corner to let the air out of the bag. And then I reseal it again so that you don't have it so much. Okay, so do that with each bag. Seal it up. Kind of massage your chili flat. So you got an air bubble there, so you want to let the air out. Kind of a vacuum seal. Seal it back up. Okay, so then I usually put 2 per bag. And I usually buy freezer bags of these, but this year I didn't get freezer bags. I got these by mistake. So they'll still work. And we dated them also, in case you need to figure out what's what. These are dated, these are dated. And I put 2 per bag. It just works out better that way. If you put 3, you're overloading it and it just doesn't work out very well. 2 seems to work pretty good. Lay it in there flat. And the reason why you want to put these 2 into this bag, in case these should happen to bust open, then you're protected in your freezer with this bag. So you don't have a chili, leaky mess. So and then you want to make sure you seal this one. You do the same thing. You got an air bubble. You want to let the air out of this one. And the reason why you want them as flat as possible is because you're going to be stacking them up in the freezer on top of each other, and it's better to have everything as flat as possible. Okay, see, there's one. And the way I figure my chilies is I figure there's 52 weeks in a year, and I figure I need at least 52 bags of chili. So, and you get 20 bags per bushel, about approximately 20 bags. And so then you want to, figure it from there. But I always buy more than that because I give to family and friends and neighbors or whatever, so I do quite a bit more than that. I usually do about 5 bushels a year. Okay, there's one. Here's another one. Go ahead and massage it back out. Oh, can't have those in the seal there. And you want it as clean as possible here. Keep your seal perfect. And I have a towel on the table here because these are still warm, even though they've been cooling down for over an hour. And it's best to, keep them in a, see, there you go. Then you can stack them right up on top of each other like that, and it looks good. Okay, that's that. Okay, this is kind of the final product. I got a little bit more left to do, but these are the bags. You can see that they're all marked, the 2 per bag. I let them cool down in the little bags like that for quite a while, and then I started putting them in the bigger bags. And now I'm going to go ahead and start placing them in the laundry basket that I have here so that my husband can haul them downstairs to the freezer. And I start lining them up in there. And they stack very nicely, and I fill that up, and they get very heavy, so you really can put maybe 40 in a basket like that to haul them downstairs because they're pretty heavy. And these had a lot of red chili in them because I allowed them to sit for 3 or 4 days before I actually roasted them. And I like the colorful redness in it, that's why I do it. But a lot of people like just having it pure green, and so that means you got to roast it right away when you get home with your bushels that you buy. And I roasted 4 bushels, and it's taken me almost 6 hours to do 4 bushels. So you've got to be prepared to spend a lot of time if you're going to do a lot of bushels. One bushel is about an hour and a half from beginning to end. And the most important thing is to let them cool down as much as you can before you put them in the freezer, because That way they don't pop open on you and make a mess in your freezer. But then we did double bag them, but still, everything could still pop open. I've had that happen to me before. So cooling it down really helps. And also I wanted to mention and remind you that the reason why we put the date on these is so important, because these only last 1 year. You go any further than a year and you go ahead and start making the chili after that, and you can get sick to your stomach. So you don't want to go longer than a year, so you want to make sure you date them and use them up as quickly as you can before the year's up. And that's all I have to say about it. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll make another video and show you how to actually make chili con mano, which is chili that you do by the hand on the table, so that you can leave it on your table and eat with all your steak and different kinds of meats and your spaghetti and stuff. And I'll also show you how to make actual green chili with this and how to unthaw it and peel it. Oh, that reminds me, peeling it. A lot of people peel their chili before they put it in a bag, but I like to leave the chili with the peeling on because you get a better juice. The juice stays sealed in the peeling, and then when you go to peel it, it is nice and juicy, and you have a delicious tasting chili. So anyway, I hope that my video helped and showed you how to do this, and happy chili eating.